I was in Idaho a couple years back with James and Brett, and I met them because they were working on a project that I was interested in, and it was removing rainbow trout because they were out competing with cutthroat trout in a river system here. But what I liked about these guys was how dedicated they were to the science and also fulfilling what people wanted. When they buy their fishing license, they fill out a survey and they do what those people actually want. And he told me about this project he was working on that had to do with ice fishing, which is obviously going to interest me. So we came all the way here to find out what's going on with cutthroat trout and how they're stocking these remote lakes. And right now we're pulling into home base.
My first stop is the Henry's Lake Fish Hatchery to meet with the Regional Fisheries Manager Brett High and Regional Communications Manager James Brower.
This is the Henry's Lake Spawn Shed. It's part of the second oldest hatchery in the state of Idaho, and this is where we get all of the Yellowstone cutthroat trout for our hatchery programs in the state.
So these fish are already here. It's January. Is this the time of year when they're supposed to be coming up?
So they're starting to get ready for spawning.
Okay.
We typically kick off the spawn around mid-February, Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So these fish are, they're just a little bit early.
There's some symbolism to that. You know, you've got the fish coming up for the sperm and the eggs on Valentine's Day, the love shack, make the next fry.
This is the love shack.
How do they know to come here though?
So these fish are most likely fish that were spawned here.
Okay.
So we take eggs and sperm from fish that come in from out of the lake. We spawn and combine them here, but then take them to a hatchery facility to rear them to about 3 inches or fingerling size. Once they're 3 inches, we bring them back to this spot, release them here in the creek. They go out to the lake, mature, and then come home.
Okay.
So they come back as mature fish that we can then again spawn and start the whole process over again.
How long does it take for them to become adults and come back?
So 3 to 5 years, these cutthroat mature and are ready to spawn.
Will they come multiple times or only once?
They will come multiple times. Yeah,
Okay.
They don't die like a Pacific salmon. As long as they're alive, they can spawn every year.
Cutthroat trout are instinctively hardwired to return to the waters where they emerged and reared years before to spawn. Now, because all these fish were released from the stream that flows through the shack, they have returned here to spawn themselves. The team here will collect the eggs and sperm from the fish and release them back into the lake, while their babies will grow up in this artificial stream.
So that spring water comes in, high oxygen, cold, temperatures great for trout. Inside the middle of the tray is this compartment that's surrounded by screen. So after we are done in the spawn shed and we combine 7 females' eggs with 7 males' sperm, fertilize them, let them water harden a little bit, then we bring them up here and we dump each family group into this tray. And you'll notice at the back of the tray there are these drain holes. So water comes in this part of the tray, it'll upwell through the eggs and then come out these channels and drop down to the next tray below.
So it's just creating a constant flow through.
I guess that makes flow all the way through, and then it goes down to this channel here that is diverted out back to the creek and out to the lake. The egg stage, which is about day 29-30, we ship them over to our Mackey hatchery, where they actually hatch at Mackey hatchery, and we rear them there till they're about 3 inches long, and bring them back to the lake and stock them in September.
Then drop them in the fish ladder, they
Yep.
go out, they come back 4 years later, and here we are.
Exactly.
Got it.
There are a ton of reasons why this fish station is important, but one of my top reasons is efficiency. In 2022, they released almost 800,000 Yellowstone cutthroat trout into Henry's Lake. Now, those fish come from eggs collected right here. The cutthroat trout is native to Idaho, and making sure reproduction numbers stay high protects the future of this fish. In addition, the other baby cutthroat trout raised right here are distributed across the cutthroat trout native range and used to stock mountain lakes that otherwise wouldn't have fish at all. Having those isolated populations across different bodies of water is a great preservation strategy. In case something terrible happens to one of the populations, we won't completely lose this native species.
This is such a great use of funds as far as like people buy their fishing license. This is the kind of work it does, and this is what creates fishing opportunities people don't even realize, you know?
Well, speaking of using funds, that's why we brought you guys out. This is an egg take, and one of the things we hear from our anglers is they really value mountain lakes in this area.
Okay.
It provides solitude and some great scenery, but mountain lakes are generally fishless unless you stock them. So where we have the opportunity to get cutthroat trout eggs here, we have the opportunity to make fishing better in mountain lakes and stock them.
Okay.
So
So there's new fish there now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And our anglers value that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at, see how our fish are doing in this lake, our parent population.
Okay.
And then go to a mountain lake where we've stocked fish and check to see how they're doing, make sure they're providing that benefit that our anglers hope for. But I got to warn you, it's going to be an adventure.
Really?
It may not be easy.
Okay, I'm in.
All right.